This is not what we promised each other. Why do you do this to me?
Oga, that's your own cup of tea. I'm done with you already.
The day Emmanuel landed back in Lagos with a ring in his pocket and tears in his eyes, he was not prepared for what was waiting for him behind that door. A strange pair of shoes, a pregnant belly, and a woman who did not even look sorry. 2 years, every pound he earned, every meal he skipped, every cold night he endured alone in London, it was all for this woman. And she spent every single penny on another man's child. But Emmanuel was not just any man. And what he did next, nobody saw coming. If you are new here, subscribe to Deep African Folktales right now. Hit that button below. We bring you powerful stories every week that will shake you. Now let's go back to where this all started. Emmanuel grew up with nothing. His family lived in a single room in a crowded compound in Lagos. His father sold pure water on the streets. His mother fried akara every morning before dawn just to feed 5 children. Emmanuel wore the same school uniform for 2 years until the color faded completely. There were nights they slept hungry. Real hunger. The kind that keeps you awake staring at the ceiling. But Emmanuel had fire in him that poverty could not kill. He told himself every single night, this suffering will end, not just for me, for my whole family. Emmanuel was 24 when he met Blessing at a church program in Surulere. She was sitting 3 rows in front of him, simple, quiet, beautiful in a way that did not shout for attention. After the service, he walked up to her and introduced himself. She smiled and looked at the floor. That was it. He was finished. They started talking every day, long calls at night, walking together after church. Blessing came from a poor background too. Her mother was a petty trader. Her father had abandoned the family when she was young. She understood what struggle meant, or so Emmanuel thought. After 6 months, Emmanuel told her his plan. He had been saving small for 2 years. He had found an agent who could help him get to London legally.
My love, when I get
He
abroad,
told
I'll
Blessing,
try my best and
I am
secure a
going
good
to
living for
London.
us.
I will work hard.
Baby. I'll be waiting
I will
for
send
you, my
money
love.
home. And when I have enough, I will come back and marry you properly. Blessing held his hand and looked straight into his eyes. She said, I will wait for you, Emmanuel. No matter how long, I will wait. He believed her, every single word. Emmanuel arrived in London in January. Winter. The cold hit him like a slap. He had never felt anything like it in his life. He was wearing a thin jacket he bought from Yaba Market. It was not enough. Nothing could have prepared him for that cold. He got a room, a tiny room he shared with 2 other Nigerian men. 1 bed, shift sleeping. He worked in a warehouse during the day, lifting heavy boxes for hours. At night, he worked in a fast food restaurant washing plates. His hands cracked from the cold water. His back ached every single night. But he did not complain. Not once. Because every 2 weeks, he sent money home to Blessing. 50,000 naira, then 100,000, then more as he started earning better. He told her, use this to feed yourself, save some. We are building our future together.
All right, my love. I love you too.
Blessing always called back with the same sweet voice. Thank you, my love. I am saving everything. I am waiting for you. Come back soon. Emmanuel smiled every time he heard her voice. The cold did not feel so cold anymore. The work did not feel so heavy anymore. He was doing it for love, and love made everything easier. Back in Lagos, Blessing was not saving anything. The money Emmanuel was sending every month, she was spending it on a man called Richie. Designer shoes, Owambe parties, hotels in Victoria Island. Richie did not work. He did not need to. Emmanuel was funding everything from London without knowing. After 1 year, Blessing stopped picking calls as quickly as before. She always had an excuse. I was sleeping. My phone was on silent. The network was bad. Emmanuel worried but told himself she was fine. He kept sending money. He kept working double shifts. He was even saving extra on the side for their wedding. What he did not know was that Blessing was 3 months pregnant, and the baby was not his. By the time Emmanuel booked his flight back to Lagos, he had saved enough money for a wedding, a small car, and furniture for their home. He had put the property documents, the land and the building he had been paying for in Lagos, completely in his own name. A friend in Lagos had advised him to do that from the beginning. Emmanuel had laughed and said, "Blessing is trustworthy." But he did it anyway, just to be safe. That decision would save his life. When Emmanuel landed at Murtala Mohammed Airport, he did not tell Blessing he was coming. He wanted to surprise her. He took a taxi straight to the house. His house. The house he had been building with his own sweat for 2 years. He knocked. No answer. He used his key. The first thing he saw was a pair of men's shoes at the entrance. Big, worn, not his size. He stood there for a moment just staring at those shoes. Then Blessing walks out of the bedroom in a wrapper, and Emmanuel saw it immediately. The stomach. Big and round. At least 7 months. The room went completely silent. Blessing opened her mouth. Emmanuel raised one hand. He did not shout. He did not cry. He just stood there looking at her for a long time. Then he looked around the house. His house. Furnished with his money. And then he asked just one question. Where is he? Richie walked out of the bedroom. Emmanuel looked at him. Then he looked back at Blessing. He nodded slowly like a man who had just understood something very important. He walked back to the door, picked up his bag, and said, "You have 1 week to pack your things and leave this property. Both of you." Blessing started crying. She said it was a mistake. She said she was confused. She said Emmanuel was always far away. Emmanuel did not respond. He walked out and called his lawyer. Within 3 days, the eviction papers were ready. The property was legally in Emmanuel's name. There was nothing Blessing could do. Nothing Richie could do. Nothing. 1 week later, Blessing left that house with nothing but a Ghana must go bag and a pregnancy that the whole street could see. Richie disappeared the moment he realized there was no property to benefit from. No house, no money, nothing. He left Blessing the same way her father had left her mother years ago. Emmanuel rented a small apartment, took time to heal, and focused on himself. 6 months later, a friend introduced him to a woman named Chioma. Calm, hardworking, honest, the kind of woman who did not need to be watched. They dated for 1 year. Emmanuel proposed. Chioma said yes. Their wedding was small but beautiful. No drama, no lies. Just 2 people who chose each other with open eyes. And Emmanuel? He never went hungry again. He building his business. He took care of his parents. He gave his mother the life she deserved. The boy who wore faded uniforms and ate 1 meal a day grew into a man that life could not break. Blessing was never heard from again, but the streets of Lagos remember her story. If this story moved you, share it with someone right now. And if you are not yet subscribed to Deep African Folktales, click that button below. More powerful stories are coming. We will see you in the next one.